All right, so I got to talk about this legislation that the Senate just passed, the big beautiful bill. Um, Trump big beautiful bill. This is the thing. A lot of y'all when y'all voted for Trump, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out what did y'all think he was gonna do because he said that he was gonna do a lot of stuff he's doing. Like so, the first term he told a bunch of lies and he didn't do it. He just was like, "I'm gonna build a wall. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that," and it was just all lies. And this time, I can honestly say he keeping some of his promises. He said he was going to deport mass deportations. He said mass deportations, but y'all thought he was talking about the criminals. So y'all thought that he was going to mass deport only the criminals, and he was going to let everybody else stay. How do you do mass deportation? Ask yourself this question: how do you do mass deportation with only criminals? He said Joe Biden is letting tens of millions of people in this country every day, which was all lies. He said they're just opening up the border, letting them walk right in, which was another lie. I've been down that way to the border, and I can tell you, you can't just walk in. That's one thing. But we talk about this a lot, but I'm going to talk about this big, beautiful bill real quick. I don't want to get too far off topic. But y'all know how I get about that stuff. But the big, beautiful bill, or what Trump is calling this big, beautiful bill, basically what he's doing tax cuts for the very wealthy people. I can't say rich because this is not just rich, it's wealthy people and rich people, but he doing these tax cuts for all these people. And therefore America is gonna have what is it, an extra I mean he did 8 trillion his first term. Extra. Now he's trying to add like another 8 to 10 trillion on top of that by doing these tax cuts for these wealthy people who don't need tax cuts. They don't pay for nothing already. They write everything off. The people at the top, they make all of this money. This and we're gonna have a whole. I'm gonna do a whole podcast about trickle down economics, and we'll break more of it down. But I'm just trying to give y'all an update real quick. So, um, they talk about if the people at the top have money, then they'll have money to pay the people at the bottom. So you give all these tax breaks to these people who don't pay for nothing already. If you've been around rich people or wealthy people, you'll realize that nothing is paid for. They get free valet parking, they get free food, they get free clothes, they get free everything is free. So why do they need a break? They get free cars, they get free boats, they get free yachts. So why do they need more free? And why do they need to pay less taxes when they're not passing it down to the people at the bottom? So within this bill is to extend his tax cuts that he passed in 2017. And in 2017, a lot of people didn't see how sneaky he was. What he did was he passed a bill for the very rich people to pay less taxes. Inflation got out of hand. The economy started going up because of Joe Biden efforts, but the inflation went up because the rich people got greedy. They started price gouging. They said, well, why pay this when we don't have to pay that? They don't want to pay for nothing. So that's pretty much how that all happened, right? So now this big, beautiful bill. So we're going to give tax breaks to the rich and wealthy, the people who don't need it. And we're going to cut Medicaid, Medicare, EBT, housing assistance by $700 million, almost $800 million. We're going to cut almost $800 million from the subsidy plans because we don't feel like it's fair that they get to live off of the government. But the rich people can live off the government. The Elon Musk and the Jeff Bezos of the world, they can live off the government. You know how they live off the government? By not paying taxes. They don't have to pay taxes, so therefore they're living off the government by not paying for anything. They're not paying for nothing. But yet, the people at the very bottom, a lot of them are struggling. People have health problems. People can't fend for themselves sometimes because they have, things that happen along the way to where they can't afford to live in this economy. It's hard to live in this economy. I don't care if you make $20 an hour in Florida. That's nothing. $20 an hour in Florida is not enough to get an apartment. And I can't say this for all cities because I know I'm gonna get people in the comments. Oh, sure you can. Yeah, if you live in Timbuktu, Florida, if you live in the middle of nowhere, Florida, yes, you can probably get it. But if you live in any one of these major cities, you can't afford to live off of $20 an hour. It's not a livable wage. It's not a livable wage because even at $20 an hour, and you're trying to live on your own, if you break that down by 40 hours a week, that's $800 a week gross. Sound good, right? Well, what about the 33% tax they're taking out? Now you're down to what? You take 33% out of 800, you're down to about 600, 5 something. That's what you take home every week. If you get paid bi-weekly, your check is $1,500, you take home about $1,100, and you multiply that $1,100 by 2, which is 2 weeks of $1,100 with another 2 weeks $1,100. You just made $2,200 for the month. That's what you took home. That's all you took home. Let's just say you paid no taxes like the rich. Let's just talk about this. If you had to pay no taxes and you made $20 an hour, you would make $800 a week times 4. 8 times 4 is 32. So now you made $3,200 a month. Still not gonna make it. You know why? That's with no taxes coming out. Because what's happening is you got this for the young people. The older people, some of y'all more people that have been out, y'all know this. You got this money, it's $3,200 a month. But your rent is $1,600, and that's in a decent apartment. If you want to live downtown, you over $2,200, $2,500 a month out of your $3,200. But even at that $1,600, $1,800 a month, you multiply that. I mean, you subtract that from your $3,200 that you're making. You got about $1,200 left. That's for food. That's for car note. That's for everything you need for the rest of the month. Yeah, some people can make it off of that, possibly. But the reality is, once you start looking at all the gas and the food and the other bills you got, your phone bill, and if you want an extra, cable or internet, you're going to be broke. You're going to make just enough to live. Whereas you got these rich millionaires and billionaires who that's nothing to them, man. They wipe with that kind of money. They don't even see that kind of money. It's nothing to them. Your paycheck, your $3,200 you made a month, that's if you took all of it without any taxes taken out or Medicaid or anything taken out. That's nothing to them people. They make that every millisecond. Not even quad, what is it called? Decillisecond, like way far down the line second. Way down the line. 0.1. That's what these people see. That's what your money is to these people. But why is it fair that you got to pay a higher tax rate than them? Why is it fair that you got to take your check that you made and you got to pay more than these people? And yet, if you fall flat for whatever reason, don't fall into kidney health. My sister had kidney failure. And I could talk about it on another day. But my sister had kidney failure. She fell into the system where she needed government assistance. And my sister's no longer with us. And it's partly because of the failed system. And this system that y'all want to gut, you want to take it away even more. People like my sister fell victim to like this healthcare in America not being good. She basically, she went through a lot and she found herself having to use EBT. She found herself having to use Medicaid, these kind of services, because she couldn't work. My sister had stage 5 kidney failure, amongst other health problems that she came along with that. So you telling me that person need to get up and go to work? You telling me that a person that is taking dialysis every day dialysis, that's not feeling well, has to get up every day and go to work because they're able-bodied, send them to work. Oh, no, not because they're able-bodied, because they can't afford to live because you just took away all the subsidies from them. I know some of y'all think, oh, they just want to sit around and do nothing. I ain't talking about them, but do y'all know how Donald Trump do things? It goes back to the same thing with immigration. Do you think they care? Poor is poor. They don't care if you healthcare problems poor or you just poor. Poor is poor in their eyes. Immigrant is an immigrant. We don't care if it's a criminal or not. You still an immigrant to us. So these are the people that we want to trust with helping the very wealthy people while the people at the bottom suffer. And a lot of y'all are okay with that. And I'm not okay with it. I'm not okay with it. I live in Tampa, Florida, and it's just not enough, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work. I don't get it. But guess what? If I did, I wouldn't be able to make it. You still can't make it. And for all the people that do get it, that I believe you should stop worried about them. Let them people be them people, man. You ever lived in the projects? You ever lived in the projects? Any of y'all that got something to say? Have you ever lived in a bad neighborhood where you didn't have a choice, but that's what it was because that's what you grew up in? And when y'all get to that level, y'all can let me know. But for right now, get real political. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all keep sharing these videos. I'm going to keep them coming. I'm trying to get these daily breads going. Let's go.